of blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward. And the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as a baron, the most upright is sharper than a thorn hedged. The day of thy watchmen and thy visitation cometh, now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the go to Saul of Tarsus and to engage this particular thing. And then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he have done to thy saints at Jerusalem. So, God gives you a commandment, and usually you want to follow it, right? In this case, Ananias questions it because he's afraid of the man he has to go and heal. To say Saul of Tarsus is to say, this guy's like, Peter of Compton. You know what I mean? This guy, this guy's like, Jacob of Chicago. I'm not.
It was really super spicy. It's just when you go eat, but I ate some really hot chili today, and it was fine. It's just the kindness chili. I can eat green chili normally.
Like on a burrito? No
Yeah.
problem.
Does it?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Do we consider why we be treated like this? So the apostles, they understand. They're not saying to them, "Oh, go away." They do understand, but it's like our job is to preach the word of God. It's serving the tables and making sure that all the Greeks, all the Hebrews are getting all their fair distribution. Isn't exactly our job. So we need to find someone we can give that job to. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Nice shot. Nice shot indeed. Those white lights is what I got. Perfect.
Get those again too.
Yeah. But what's going on this way is more interesting. Nice. Subsistence. That was during the famine. It's like sometime later when Joseph was there, that's when the whole earth came under this like drought. Now, in scientific terms, if you guys ever like research that time, there is a time period within the soil that showed that the earth wasn't producing any seed for that particular time. But if you trail it all the way to Egypt and through the Nile, this was the only place that was producing a lot. And you guys probably heard of the Sphinx, right? It's also a Roman citizen. So we do have rights under Roman law. So you violated the law against us, and now you want to just bury this whole matter and just have us walk away. So at this point, basically they're nervous because if he's a Roman citizen, that means he can bring other magistrates into the case, which would get them into trouble. And the Serjanians told these words unto the magistrates, and they feared when they heard that they were Romans. And they came and besought them and brought them out and desired them to depart out of the city. And they went out of the prison and entered into the house of Lydia. And when they had seen the brethren, they comforted them and departed. So at this point, they were begging them, just please leave. I'm sorry, all that stuff. And so at this point, Paul goes to Lydia's house and he remains there for some days. And being comforted, probably trying to convince Paul and the others, just leave it alone, just leave it alone. So at this point, they depart.
I don't have Kool-Aid. There's soda. Will you bring me a soda, Sarah?
Who got a new banana? Not me. No. Who wants my banana? Cranberry sauce! Nom 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 noms!
Yeah.
Get them to remember that good feeling, that understanding that they had before, and remembering that there was someone to come, and that we had all collectively believed that John the Baptist was real, that he was legitimate and a prophet. And we all knew that collectively. We didn't challenge that, and the people didn't challenge that. And he himself verified Jesus, so let's start from there. And let's remember all the prophecies that pertain to them, because that this gives Paul a better understanding to be able to basically to give definition to why Jesus is the Messiah. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth God, to you is the word of the salvation sent. For they that dwell at Jerusalem and their rulers, because they knew